Hello and welcome back to the Puncher's Chance podcast, and welcome to the review show, but it is our only podcast this week. We will talk about next weekend's fights as well as a few other things happening, so stick around for all of that good stuff. Straight into the action. This is obviously the one we're all excited to talk about. Unfortunately, guys, Jake Paul versus Tank Davis is off because of a lawsuit filed against Tank Davis that was kind of bubbling away anyway. We won't get into the details of the legal case for obvious reasons, but are we at all disappointed that fight's not happening? Where do we stand on it?
No, to be honest, I wasn't too bothered personally. Like, when was it meant to happen?
Same weekend as Eubank Ben, yeah. So like the night before, actually. Yeah,
You were on a Friday night. Yeah, it's not as if we weren't going to be busy that weekend anyway, so I'm not too bothered. I could see straight away how it was going to get cancelled after obviously all the news that's come out following the case. But yeah, it's not something I'm massively frustrated with. But I thought they were going to try and find some late replacement. I think they did make some effort.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's not the end of the world, so we're not missing out on much.
Nah, I think, but by principle, I'm happy it's back.
100%.
Like as an idea, as a concept, rubbish fight. Couldn't care less about it. Still stand by the fact, Jake Paul's a clown. All that good stuff. But actually, I am slightly irritated because I'm slightly intrigued as to what would happen if you stick a world champion lightweight against a okay at best cruiserweight. Like, what does that look like? So there's part of me that kind of feeds into the circus and goes, that's really interesting. But more and more so, I'm just like, you're the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. Well, you can't tell me like, there's a little bit of you that I would have what would happen.
But I feel like with this fight as well, I'm happy it's not happening now, because I don't think you should be giving someone with the accusations and all that of what Davis has got, the platform on Netflix and all that. The thing I feel sorry for is the undercard fighters as well. They've been preparing now. We've had a build up to this fight for a number of months now, and they've obviously been working hard behind the scenes, and now they haven't got a fight night to get towards. So hopefully MVP can quickly get a replacement in it and get a new date in, hopefully by the end of the year. I've seen some of the names and some crazy names. Francis Ngannou was one of them, Andrew Ward. Like, come on, like
Brian Garcia, I thought they would have got it.
Yeah, but then he's rumored to be fighting for a WBC belt against somebody. He seems to be getting it somehow after a lot.
That.
Yeah, but no,
Andre Ward as well, not Andrew.
Is it the Lamont Roach fight he's meant to get, is it?
No, I don't think it was. I think it was up at welterweight or super Barrios at welterweight.
Barrios.
No, weird one, but yeah, I think it does. We kind of touched on it a little bit. The whole like Netflix kind of what they're investing in is this sort of more like circus type boxing, and I think the problem is exactly this: is you end up platforming people that aren't fighting, and there's normally a good reason for that. Otherwise, Tank Davis would be fighting for a world title again. So, yeah, like you say, glad it's not happening, but then a little bit of me that's like, kind of would have been funny to see, just to see.
Yeah, I think it's just that whole sort of circus side of boxing as well. Well, it's the same as well. I know we don't really talk about Misfits boxing, but I've seen they've got Andrew Tate involved with them as well, which is absolutely baffling considering some of the allegations surrounding him. Why you'd want him anywhere near your organisation to try and build it up at all is baffling, but yeah, it's just a bit of a mess. We want to stick to the actual proper side of boxing. Like.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that, let's go over to some proper boxing. And I think on Saturday on Queensbury and May and the Co-op Live, we got some competitive, close, proper boxing. Like, the three fights, they weren't necessarily the highest level fights. There was a few sort of controversial decisions here and there, but as competitive bouts, and the atmosphere in the stadium sounded pretty good. We'll start off with that main event, Buatsi Parker, but a lot of controversy over the decision. What do we make of that whole fight?
Oh, it was awful. The styles didn't match. It was such a boring watch, and I've never counted down the rounds before in a fight because I'm like, there's only 9 minutes left, 6 minutes left, 3 minutes. Oh yes, it's finished. I've never done that before watching a fight, but it was terrible. Buatsi, obviously coming off that loss against Callum Smith, stuck with his trainer, and interestingly, you would have thought you would have seen some improvements. Buatsi looked very poor on Saturday night, I thought. And
yeah, I think it was a tentative performance.
Yes.
He never really, and
Yeah.
especially because like that fight against Smith was a fight of the year contender, like
Still is.
absolute war.
probably in the top.
And then that one wasn't. I just like you said, I think the styles are awkward, but
Yeah.
it's
It reminds me a little bit of when Lawrence Okoli fought, I think David Light, his name was, and he was the main event of the show. And I think that was in the Manchester Arena, and the arena was just dead when that main event happened. And it had a similar feeling on Saturday night where the co-main event, you had two people from Manchester fighting, and then that fight, people were leaving. And then you had, as the rounds went on, you had Willie Hutchinson on commentary saying, yeah, I'm doing this interview and then I'm going because this fight is awful.
it's not a great look.
No, is it? When one of your fighters is even saying on live tally that the fight's awful, but yeah, it was just, that's the word, awful.
Queensbury really need to do everyone a favour as well and start their cards early, 100%. Or guaranteed the Queensbury show will have it. I'm too old to be staying up for a Queensbury main event.
So you had your hot chocolate and went to bed.
I was dropping off
You're
far.
too old to be staying up for the undercard.
I was struggling to get through it. I basically fell asleep about halfway through the main event, I think. But
Yeah, I suppose if that fight's at 9 o'clock, it's framed differently. You are, when you're staying up for something, it is a bit more like,
yeah, you need it to keep you awake at that point.
Especially when you had a co-main event as good as it was. And then you had that main event where you're dropping off all of a sudden. Yeah.
There was a lot of controversy around the decision as well. I didn't think it was as bad. Like when it was going to the decision, I didn't think necessarily the Buatsi won, where I could see that it could be given to him. So I didn't think it was that bad, just because of the way the Parker decided to fight and the amount. It felt like Buatsi was pushing the pace, trying to make something happen, and the amount of time Parker spent basically on the floor, I don't think helped him.
no. And like, I think the fact that the DAZN commentary was so aggressively, you got Adam Smith saying, oh, he's won this one, look at him, he's won it. He knows he's won it straight after the fight. And then obviously he has won.
Frampton's scorecard as well. Yeah, I think after 7 rounds, he didn't even give Buatsi a round.
Yeah, and I think whether that's right or wrong is up for people's debate. But ultimately, that's a lot of people will watch it with the commentary and will be swayed quite heavily by that. I often find myself disagreeing with particularly the DAZN commentary. I find them they always go one way too far.
Yeah.
And you get a close fight and they'll be like, oh, I think he's up 3 and actually I think he's down or whatever. So I would take that with a pinch of salt.
I didn't think it was as wide as me. Like Parker done well. I thought he boxed really well and he really negated Buatsi in terms of how good he is at certain things. But it also just felt like he was kind of spoiling the fight. Like any time Buatsi would get close, it just made it was, like you said, it was just a really difficult sort of style matchup where you could never really get the excitement going, because as soon as they come close to each other, it was just the referee was constantly having to get involved and break them apart, or Parker was getting up off the floor or whatever else. But it wasn't great.
Yeah, I was just having a look at it. So with the scorecards, it was 96-94 on 2 of them, 95-95, which is razor tight. Like that's 1 round and then a draw. So each ref does it 1 round further away, and it's a majority draw for Zach Parker or whatever. I think I do think Parker probably did win that fight.
Yeah,
but it's not one to. And I think the part of the problem is it comes after the Liam Cameron fight, which people were saying was slightly, he got a favourable result. So when those officials, when you put those two things together, it's like it optically it looks worse. And we'll get onto that Liam Cameron fight in a moment, but before it,
can we just touch on something as well with Zach Parker? In the past, Zach Parker's been in really, really close fights, against Darryl Williams in 2018. A lot of people have been talking about this. I saw Kai in the comment sections below, and he talked about it, saying that there's a bit of justice being served or something. That was a really close split decision back in Glasgow. But I just think, I thought Parker won that fight on Saturday night, but I just can't see how the fight went on. I think after 5 rounds, you could easily make the argument that Parker's up. But then as you get into the latter rounds, it's like, well, Buatsi's getting on top here. And I wasn't a big fan of what Parker was doing. You know, if you want to win this fight, Parker shouldn't have been doing what he was doing as the rounds went on in the later parts. So I think it's an opportunity missed by Parker, and he'll probably be kicking himself watching it back. But for Buatsi's probably thinking, happy days. I've got a decision that's gone my way. It wasn't my best performance.
I think he's got a feeling that he's got away with one 100% slightly.
Maybe, yeah. I think you will believe you won it.
To the end. Like, there was only one of those two that thought they won that fight, but I really didn't think it was that wide that Parker was definitely... I wasn't shocked when I seen Buatsi given the decision. That's how I seen it anyway.
No, and particularly when it was 96, 94. If it was 98, 92 or something, I'm thinking, I just don't see how Buatsi won that. But by around, it's possible at the very least. That Brad Ray, Lyndon Arthur fight was a great fight.
10 out of 10.
Really, really
Don't
good.
understand why that wasn't put as the main event.
I don't know. I guess Buatsi's got the bigger name. Bigger name, bigger pull.
In terms of where we're at in the country and like...
Yeah, maybe they should have had the Buatsi Parker as the main event that you market it as, and actually have Brad Ray, Lyndon Arthur after that.
Well, then at least the arena was still before.
Would have been a better way to do it, because it was a great fight. You obviously had them in the sky blue and the red of Manchester. The early knockdown from Brad Ray, I think there was probably 2, maybe even 3 times in the fight where you thought, oh, is he going to get Lyndon Arthur out of here now? Lyndon Arthur hang on or got to the bell or whatever. I came back into it and probably deservedly won that fight in the end in pretty impressive fashion.
Big win for Lyndon Arthur as well, considering like if he'd lost to Brad Ray on Saturday, I don't know where else to go from here at that point. But yeah, I wouldn't be against probably seeing it again at some point. I'd rather see that than Lyndon Arthur
And
before. But
It could be a possibility, man. That's what
we could just get four there instead. Brad Ray and Lyndon Arthur.
Yard loses to Benavidez in a couple of weeks' time. He could be stepping back down a European hub
fight against Lyndon Arthur. Yeah,
Full fight.
I see it. No, I think it was a really good fight. I was impressed with Lyndon Arthur, how obviously Brad Ray is very explosive.
Yeah.
He powerful. And when he hurt Lyndon Arthur a couple times, Lyndon Arthur was able to just kind of tuck up, box smart, tie him up a little bit and get through it. And then to start picking up rounds towards the end of the fight and win it deservedly so, I thought was really impressive.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that light heavyweight division as well now.
In the UK,
Willie Hutchinson and Ezra Taylor as well were basically scrapping ringside.
Yeah, you got Louis Edmondson in there, you got Ben Whitaker in there.
Like two can make it. They need to make a tournament. Just light heavyweight, isn't it? Yeah, it's a big British light heavyweight tournament.
When it gets the British title.
That,
only the British
I
title.
was going to say you have to do a 12-rounder at the end of it as well. Maybe that doesn't work, but that's not our problem to work out.
10 round.
The logistics.
Back in the days, then we'll be doing.
Yeah,
15 rounder or something. Yeah.
I think the light heavyweight division's a really strong division. And when you jump down, like we said with Liam Cameron, Troy Jones, like that was a good fight. It was a high level fight. I think Liam Cameron looked good in patches. Troy Jones was very sort of front foot aggressive. Another close fight again. I'm not overly offended by the decision. It's just when you put the two of them together, it's like, okay, the two kind of home fighters, so to speak, got the away. It doesn't look great, but in on their own, they're like, I can see it.
Yeah, I felt exactly the same. I thought Troy Jones had won, but I again wasn't shocked when Liam Cameron was given the decision. It's just one of those ones. The scorecards now were pretty close as well when they. Yeah, so I think it's just one of those. So it's worse sometimes when it's a close fight and like the scorecards are really wide. I think that makes it worse. But the fact they were quite close and the judges were the same when they fought both that fight and the main.
Apart from the referees changed.
Yeah, I think it was. That's why I'm surprised actually, because I feel like they give Buatsi the win in the main event probably because he was a bit more aggressive and was trying to push the fight. But Troy Jones was similar in that fight and didn't get a decision. Yeah. So that's the only confusing thing for me. I thought he would have got it based off the fact he was probably the more aggressive of the two.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's sort of reputation comes first and they sort of know Buatsi's level, and Liam Cameron probably on paper was slightly above Troy Jones, and if that plays into it at all, I don't know. And obviously people will be saying all sorts of controversial stuff and, you know, corruption, all this, but ultimately they're okay decisions. We've seen far worse.
We've seen a lot worse in recent weeks, and it feels like we say this. I think I say this on every podcast that we film. Poor refereeing decisions seems to be the main talking point in British boxing.
But it's the main talking point in football, the main talking point in everything. Like,
well, you just need something to complain about.
Yeah, exactly. And if we really,
it's what makes us really fun, ain't it?
Yeah,
they're creating debates, it creates podcasts like we're doing here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Another, actually, jumping over to the States as well, there was a few good fights over there. Pat Brown, impressive. Again,
Legend job.
Still just so powerful at cruiserweight. Really powerful. Amari Jones, same again. Really powerful. That first knockdown in the first round was beautiful.
Yeah, really good combination to. Yeah, it was a Pat Brown. I'm really looking forward to watching Pat Brown in like a good 50-50 fight and seeing what he's like then, because he's just been blasting everyone out at the moment. So it's going to be really exciting to when he eventually gets that first big 50-50 sort of challenge. I'm looking forward to that.
Was it Lewis Oakford he fought?
Yeah.
Because I thought that one, on paper, I thought that one would be, this is a good test, like, to kind of see what level he is. And like you say, he walked through that. I certainly don't think you throw him a Vidal Riley yet.
It's hard to like try and figure out exactly where he sits because he's looked so impressive, but yet he hasn't really been tested.
Yeah.
So you've got to wait until it is difficult to like, you're waiting almost to find out, right, where's his stumbling blocks, or you know where he sits within the rankings.
I do also think though, with the sheer size of him, I can't help but think in a year or two's time, he might be really pushing on that cruiserweight limit. So maybe you do have to push him nice and quick while he is still making that weight. He's not draining himself. He's powerful. He looks dangerous.
You get him out by the end of the year again. And then 2026 is where I think you start rolling the dice and go, right, let's see how good you really are.
Yeah.
You know,
get him an English title, wait for Vidal to move off from the British.
Yeah.
Get him a British European. But I also don't think those are gimme fights necessarily. I think there's quality. There is quality operators within that division that will be awkward to come up against.
Big fan of Dave Allen as well, man. I don't know if you saw the video. He was absolutely knackered. He was saying and all that about, you know, he was waking up and he was like, I've been watching it. I'm shattered though watching it, and it was brilliant. That was quite funny. The bond them two have got is really good, and
yeah.
I feel like you look at Pat Brown now. I say about end of the year. There's another fighter that should be coming out at the back end of the year. Where do you fit Pat Brown into all this? You know, could he go on the Ghana card that they announced on Monday? You know, could he squeeze onto that December 17th Your Call card
with Vizio? Oh no, is it Indigo at the O2? It was,
yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I just think, keep him active, keep him busy. They've done really well with that sort of crop of 4 or 5 prospects they all kind of brought through at the same time. In Tia, Pat Brown, Adam Macker, Leo Atang. They've just kind of kept them busy, and they're getting different things from them. And we said it last week with Vizioli, like they're handling their prospects pretty well at the moment. Same with Amari Jones, 4-0 now, or 4-0 I believe it is, 4 knockouts, doing the job that's asked of him.
I need to get him over to the UK now.
yeah, as we claim. But
watch him live.
What was I going to say? The main event, Pero Thompson, was probably a closer fight than I think we thought it was going to be. Thompson looks huge. How he ever made cruiserweight? Like he's really
the problem, weren't it?
We said he'd gone away and he's just eaten. And we were probably not far from right, because he's really filled out as a heavyweight. I think once he realised he could absorb and get through a lot of what Pero was throwing, he kind of got a bit of confidence from that and came back into it in the back end. Wasn't enough in the end. But both of them, again, you kind of look at both of them and you go, well, you're not going to be causing
You wouldn't think that Thompson was out as well for as long as he was.
No, yeah.
You would have thought he would have been a lot more active from watching that fight as well.
You look at them and you go, you're not going to cause the top guys any problems. You're going to cause the kind of okay guys a lot of problems, and the guys in between, there might be some interesting matchups. You know, someone like Makhmudov that's kind of now got a win on their record, you could maybe see there be an interesting fight in there.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you thought Pero is going to kick on to anything like that.
No, I don't know.
does-
I don't think he's just that. Yeah, I don't think he's just that level yet. Oh, he didn't show that level where you go, yeah, you are ready. But some people don't. People, in style-wise, I think it was awkward. Thompson was huge. He was trying to smash him up to the body, and he absorbed that damage pretty well in a way that maybe some other fighters won't. I don't think it was a bad performance by any means. Speaking of smashing up to the body, a man who likes to do so, Ajit Kabiel now has his opponent, a Polish fighter, Damian Kaniba, I think it is. Kaniba.
Glad he said it, because I would have butchered it.
Tall.
He's got the longest reach in heavyweight boxing.
Wow. Yeah. He's only 6'7". It feels like the perfect opponent for Kabiel. 17-0, so he's got good standing in terms of that, defending WBC interim, but he loves to chop down that tree. And when you put a 6'7" frame in front of him, you just feel he is going to, again, like he did to Makhmudov.
Exactly. We saw it against Makhmudov where we're all going, who the hell is this guy? And then we see him come up against Kabayel, and Kabayel, like you say, chop down the tree, and I expect him to do the exact same thing. You know, Kabayel is, you look at that heavyweight division, the top 5, Wardley's number 2 now, which is crazy, but then Kabayel's still number 3, and then Parker's dropped down a bit, you know, so he starts off strong. He's out early in 2026. That's the most important thing for Kabayel, because I feel like, I can't remember the last time we may have saw him. I want to say he was on a Riyadh season card.
It's been a while ago.
Could be wrong, because it's just all about activity from him, because he's got so much potential.
It was Zhile Zhang in February of this year.
He absolutely battered Gilles.
He bullied, yeah.
That's another tall fighter that he got to the body.
He's next to face the sort of pressure cooker now of being the next man in line in heavyweight boxing, isn't he? Because Fury couldn't beat Usyk. Then we were thinking, oh, maybe Dubois could do it. Dubois got battered.
Yeah.
And they were, oh, Joseph Parker, he's on the rise. He's lost. So now he's got, right, Kabiel.
It's like a line, ain't it? It's like fewer people. Right, you're next.
I think this is a smart fight in the sense of when you look at the Wardley fight for Parker, it was a very impressive, aggressive, ambitious, many would say unnecessary defense of your interim title.
I feel like they went off, though, the Justice Huni fight for Fabio Wardley, Parker's team.
Well, I think it made sense commercially. All of it made sense. And I think if you're going to be fighting Alexander Usyk and thinking you're ever going to beat Alexander Usyk, you have to be beating someone like Fabio Wardley. So in his mind, in his team's mind, they go, well, we'll beat Fabio Wardley because we're going to go on and fight Usyk.
Do you think we could get Wardley Kabiel? Or do you reckon they'll both wait?
Great fight, Mike.
Unbelievable fight.
Do you reckon they'll both wait and hope that Usyk gives up the belt?
I don't see either man actually taking the fight with the other. I don't think it makes sense for either man. You're giving up a golden ticket to a man who already has another golden ticket in order to, I don't know, just be able to say that I'm the one. I think whoever Usyk wants to fight, he'll fight, whether or not they've got 1, 2, 3 golden
tickets. Usyk Wardley though, I don't know where Kabiel fits in then. I don't know what fight makes sense for him. Because you don't want to just be sitting around waiting for that.
Give him that would be a fight. That'd be a great fight.
I'd like to see Dubois Parker though.
Yeah, and I think we rolled to that one.
We were meant to see that in February, weren't we?
Yeah. We
I just don't know who you could put him.
There's one name.
Are you thinking Anthony Joshua? Is that what you're?
I'm not thinking Anthony Joshua. I'm thinking someone's favourite heavyweight.
Moses Atoma. Wow.
Imagine that.
Be big. I don't know if it
be a brutal fight.
It would be. I don't know if it. I mean,
I think that makes sense.
We're test Atoma's defense, that's for sure. It would be the fight you'd really need.
I want to see him do.
Is that why you don't want to see that fight? Because you just really like?
No, I do. I like the both. I think that would be a really tough fight for Atoma. In all fairness, like that. I genuinely think there's only a couple of heavyweights that could really challenge him. Kabiel is one of them, I think.
I think he's one of probably 4.
But when you're at that level, it is going to be challenging whoever you're facing. Like, it is going to be tough fights. Like, you're not guaranteed to win at that level for heavyweight boxing. But
yeah, there's some interesting fights in there. I mean, I think Cabiel had a really great 2024, I think it was, when the Riyadh season, he really benefited of that rise in the Riyadh season and those fights and he did really well for himself in that period. And it slowed down, obviously, but I think he has the opportunity to have a great 2026 if I really do think he gets through this one quite comfortably, and then you see him in some big fights coming up. Looking forward to the fights coming up this immediate weekend. We got the GBM Heist tournament.
This is a very exciting month.
It is indeed. But before the Heist tournament, we've also got Vergil Ortiz versus Lubin for the WBC interim. Lubin's obviously a good operator. He's lost to, I think, Fundora and one of the Charlo brothers. Never remember which one's which, but one of them. And yeah, he's been up and round, fought for interims, and he's had the WBC silver. He's a decent enough fighter, but one you would hope Vergil Ortiz would beat. And I kind of forget with Vergil Ortiz just how impressive he looked against Madrimov. Like when you look at it, you look at it, when obviously how we saw Crawford make quite hard work of Madrimov. Comparatively, Vergil Ortiz made very easy work of Madrimov. And obviously styles make fights and all this. But
Jamel,
there we go. I think they are looking to make that Boots fight. It is the money fight in the division. It's a brilliant fight.
Such a good fight.
Yeah.
I really hope we get that in 2026 because that would be one of the fights to look forward to all year, I think.
Big time, yeah. And you get the whole Eddie versus Oscar kind of in the build-up. Style-wise, the aggressive nature of Vergil Ortiz, the slick boxing of Boots, but actually a man who can hit in his own right. That's, tasty.
Do you know what we should do? I know we know 4th of November.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to do a pod at the end of the year where we're looking at fights we want to see in 2026, and that is exactly the sort of fights we want to see, don't it?
Yeah.
Vergil Ortiz, Boots Ennis is an incredible fight where just the back and forth in that, the trading, it'd just be...
Where do they do it?
I don't know if I think they do it in America.
Philadelphia, yeah. I think Matchroom get that fight.
What's this big stadium in Philadelphia? Is it Lincoln Field?
Yeah, you might be right. It's one of the big... I don't know. I don't know if it's that big a stadium fight. I think you'd have to put a pretty tasty card on there.
An arena fight.
I suppose you could get Andy Cruz on there. Obviously, now he trained with... You could get Andy Cruz fighting because pretty damn close to a world title fight now.
Yeah, Lincoln Financial.
There you go. Look at that. He knows.
I mean, into that whole
Oh, no, you're testing my knowledge.
It'll be a lot. It'll be a lot. If it's in America.
70,000. So the Principality Stadium, really. 67,594.
Wow.
But the record attendance, listen to this. Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
77,900 people.
There you go. Because they're allowed on the pitch.
Yeah.
So boxing would be similar.
Yeah.
So boxing would be close to 70,000. Yeah, no segregation, all that. I think it's a great fight.
It is
a great fight.
Exciting fight. That GBM show as well this weekend.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
I love a tournament.
Yeah, you were fortunate enough to see one in the flesh.
The top tier one was absolutely amazing. I think this one, there's some really good fighters in this one as well.
I was going to say, I think this is a slightly higher level of fighters taking place. A lot of these guys have unbeaten records. A lot of these guys have aspirations above the level that they're fighting at the moment.
Do you know what some of these fighters have got in common as well?
Have we got to try and predict who we think is going to... It's the tournament all on one night.
It is 3 fights, 1 night.
3 rounds.
Well. So 9 rounder.
Me and Sam, before we were filming this, we were discussing about something that they all have in common.
Well,
25% of them.
25% of them have in common.
Have got one thing in common, and what is that? Super middleweight fighter they've both fought. Friend of the channel.
He won't get this.
From this one.
Yeah. Almarize and...
well done, Sam.
Well done. One of the other ones.
Oh, no, why do you do that for?
So much for your fact.
That's like, do you know in rugby they throw hospital passes?
Yeah.
That's a hospital pass.
It was big time, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a number 8 barreling towards you, and I've just done a little flat offload.
Liam O'Hare, I think it was.
Yeah, and no, I don't think it was O'Hare.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, so
Lewicki.
yes,
Stewart.
interesting. I'll get the fighters taking part in the tournament in just a
The
moment.
draw. When are we
when do they
putting this out? 4 o'clock on Tuesday, yeah?
4 o'clock on Tuesday.
So in half an hour. So by the time this podcast is finished, GBM should have done the draw by now.
Interesting. It'll be good to see. I don't think the draw matters too much because in theory, if you're winning it, you're going to be. But obviously, styles make fights. You know that you can get an easier run in. You've got Jermaine Brown, Liam O'Hare, James Ozzy Osborne, who won the top tier tournament, Ellis Stewart, Ryszard Lewicki, S.A. Smith, who beat James Osborne.
Imagine if they draw each other.
Harris Khan. And the interesting one is the one that GBM have thrown themselves in there in Taz Nadeem.
He's a
Yeah, I've seen him up in Sheffield. He is a machine.
Looks a machine as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he don't like me, but well, not sure about that one, mate.
Yeah, I agree, Ben Torrey. Don't know.
He's just a shorter version of me.
Yeah, sure. No, he's an absolute unit. And I think if fighters turn up like they did in that top tier tournament, and it's just
You've got to go for
a slug off.
3 rounds.
But the way I'm thinking, and I'm not giving any tactics away, but I was talking to Harris about it, and the way I saw it personally was it's like an amateur tournament. It's just like going back to the amateurs, and the amateurs is far from a slugfest. It's just like hit and don't get hit, basically, as many times. And I don't know if somebody turned up to it with that pure amateur mindset of I'm gonna just be in and out, landing the shots. Could that be a way to win it? Maybe, rather than while everyone else is blasting themselves out, really tiring themselves. But it's interesting because it's no one does 3 rounds, no one does.
Can't have a draw.
No one does 3 night fights in a night.
We can't have a draw though with 3 rounds. So that's
If there was a joint round, but very unlikely.
very unlikely. But the other thing as well is, what happens if a fighter gets cut now? Do they continue, or is it literally if you win your first fight, you're straight into the?
If they're not, I suppose if they're not fit to fight in the next one,
So you could just win one fight and be in the final.
you could win no fights and be in the final, and then both your oppositions get really bad cuts.
Imagine that.
Yeah, and then just knock out with one shot in the final.
Going back, James Osborne coming off an impressive stoppage when you were up in the Brentwood Centre for that.
Yeah, Alex Branson Cole.
I don't know who's favourite for this.
It is a difficult one.
Yeah, I really don't know. I think
There's some punchers
for me,
and there's some boxers.
I know it's like the playoffs from the championship.
Oh,
Like, however good a fighter, a boxer you are, kind of goes out the window. It really is a roll of the dice for this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, should we call it? Should we call who we think?
Have we got the boxing?
Yeah, we're going to have to make a prediction.
We'll have to make a prediction, and the rule is only one of us can go for Harris because realistically,
Terrible.
we can't all go for Harris. That's just cheating.
And we've all got to have a different winner.
Fine.
Yeah, I think
You take
I think Harris is going to win it. Yeah, I interviewed him, and you can't take that away from me.
I'm going to go Taz.
Taz Nadeem. Ooh, stitch Harry up here.
Yeah, cheers, boys. The FA Cup was on last weekend, wasn't it?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, some decent wins. I think Brackley Town beat Notts County.
Okay. Yeah. You just avoiding this, are you?
James Osborne.
Okay. Gone for experience.
I think, yeah.
He has won a tournament.
Yeah, won a tournament. Yeah.
James Osborne.
He knows the club, as they say in football.
He knows
Yeah.
love. Yeah.
Interesting stuff. I don't think we've got a predictions for the predictions app this week.
It's Vergil Ortiz, but I don't.
Nothing.
We'll leave it off this week.
We'll just see which one of our fights.
Why don't we just talk about who it was the last week? I think it might have been me. If that's we were just talk about me winning.
What's the point?
I mean,
That's the point in talking about
one round. I won round, Harold.
2020.
So I lost by 1 round. You lost by 1 round. Yeah.
Why did you tell me that? That's just ruined my week.
As it was intended to do so.
Thank you, mate.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I got you, man.
Through 2026, we actually need to keep score of who's winning these.
Yeah. I reckon once after our rewind show where we look back, we will do we'll start a league table.
There's a lot of fights, man, on the Boxing News app.
Do we start the league table where it's like if you win that week, you get 3 points. If you come second, you get 2. If you come third, you get 1.
Yeah.
Or do we do it on your points?
No, we'll just go 3 to 1.
Keep it simple.
We'll go.
Be all over the place, I suppose.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then I reckon we could do the odd week when there's like a big fight. like a big fight, we'll do double points.
Yeah, make it serious.
Or 6 pointers.
Yeah. Because realistically, like we've always said this, when it's Fury Usyk, those are the ones that matter.
We were arguing all the time when that was happening.
That was the one that really mattered.
We couldn't care about the fight, but we're just going on off our prediction.
You got it right?
Next question.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good shout. I like that. We've become too nice, I think. We used to, when we were in that studio and we were like staring opposite each other, it would, after we finished recording, it was, a little ball
Face to face, so I separate these two ones.
that face to sort of mid-riff.
But that's why I had to separate it.
That was like Carbiel throwing blood shot.
Before we go too far off piece, is there anything else happening in the world of boxing at the moment that we...
That Ghana card.
Ghana announced, Craig Richards, Dan Aziz, good little fight there.
I believe Anthony Joshua. They need to, like, this needs to be some special announcement where they fight week. He just rocks up.
God, imagine that.
Like a WWE.
Undertaker.
Yeah, so just at the Craig Richards, Dan Aziz fight, you're thinking, oh, what's happening here? And then the music starts.
It's a decent fight, but like, I just wanted to see AJ. Yeah, they said AJ's going to be on one of the last 3 cards they got this year. So, what's the other one? The one in America, 27th of December.
And in Riyadh.
There's one.
There's a new and Nakatani, Night of the Samurai.
He's not going to be on that, or
He's not going to be on the Mohanapana, is he? No, he's not going to be on the Visioli card.
What's the Checo one?
Yeah, that's December, isn't it?
It's later, right?
Yeah, so it could be that. Who knows?
Or Eddie could just be on the wind-up. It's highly
like rumours as well that he's no longer with Ben Davidson. I have a sort of link with him.
I would read that into that too. People train elsewhere all the time.
I could have just been clickbaited there, mine. So do not.
Almost certainly.
Probably.
And then you shared that clickbait.
Yeah.
To an order. It's not
you had really right, because I haven't got a reliable source. So I apologise. I need to be accurate with my information, and it wasn't.
Yeah, no, I think people train outside of, like without their particular team outside of camp all the time. So I think I wouldn't worry too much. But yeah, be interesting when we see AJ. We still don't know who against.
Well, Gerald Miller was at ringside in Orlando on Saturday night.
Yeah, him and Eddie were proposing for
best mates now. Them pair.
I don't mind that as a comeback fight for AJ. I think it's
I would actually be interested in watching.
I think I would rather watch
because of the.
I would rather have watched Chisora Miller though.
Yeah, that's a good
Felder.
Yeah,
we've been robbed of that. Now Chisora's probably going to end up fighting Moses Atama.
That's the rumours. Which is also interesting stuff happening coming up. We'll have to wait and see. We'll do too much we've done a lot of speculating about who AJ's fighting next, where he's fighting, why.
I think we've done about 4 podcasts.
Who else? We're a busy month coming up.
We do. We've Ben.
Yeah.
Belter. We've got Ring 4, best card of the year.
That's going to be really
Norman Jr. Haney.
What do you mean? The Parler fight card was the best card of the year.
Yeah.
25 quid.
Yeah.
Well, still not then. It's a week on. Still not discount on there. I haven't checked, but I don't think there is.
Wow.
Very disappointing.
I really hope we don't get that.
It's just what you deserve.
Yeah, but we're going to pay the same anyway.
They're dropping £25 on that original card.
All right, I'm checking. When you do the outro,
you are going to be
either a happy face or a very sad face right now.
Well, if you guys are still for some reason listening or tuning in at this point, thank you. If you haven't got to this point and you're not already subscribed, then God knows why. You can subscribe on YouTube, get these every single week, normally twice a week, or on Spotify for the audio version if you prefer. Other than that, we'll be bringing you podcasts every week. Stuff on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week. Not happy?
No, it's so not.
Still not there. Never mind.
Yeah.
Punches chance. Punches chance podcast.